Hi, I'm joined with Matt Alfaro, a University of Calgary Dinos forward, former Western Hockey League player with the Lethbridge Hurricanes and Kootenay Ice. Matt, how's your summer been?
It's been a little different this year, but it's been good.
It's been good. What have you been getting up to? Have you been just taking some summer courses or just working?
I took a few spring courses, and then really now just trying to get on the ice, work out here and there, and play some golf.
Play some golf. How's the handicap looking right now?
Uh, it's getting better. It started off not very good, but improving. So
That's what we want to see. Just constant improvement throughout the summer.
yeah,
And then you lose it all again over the winter months.
yeah, exactly.
So Matt, you're going into your fourth year with the University of Calgary. Um, what's that experience been like for you, transitioning from the Western Hockey League into being a full-time student at the university?
Uh, First year was pretty tough. Like school wasn't that hard for me at the beginning. It was more the hockey side of things, just balancing it with your schedule and stuff. But now going in my fourth year, the difference is substantial of how much more comfortable I am, like with school and balancing classes. So it's been quite the experience, and it's been good. I think it's helped me mature or a lot over these past 3-4 years.
Yeah, it's a big change going from, just playing hockey pretty much every day to understanding that, hockey and school have equal weight. And in some regards, that the school part is going to take up a lot more time than the actual hockey part. And on that, what are you actually taking at the University of Calgary, and what interested you in that field of study?
I'm in the Haskayne School of Business. When I first came to UFC, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So my first year, I was kind of just in a program that I knew I could get into to start playing hockey and taking some classes. And then I ended up transferring into sciences and then transferring to Haskayne. So I've kind of gone all over the map my first couple of years, and now I kind of finally found something that I'm really interested in and something I'm doing well in.
So you're in the Haskayne School of Business. When you were leaving the Western League and you knew you were going to take advantage of that scholarship, did you know that you wanted to go to the University of Calgary, or were there a couple other schools that really caught your eye? And then what about U of C ultimately made you decide to go there?
Yeah, I obviously talked to a few schools at the end of my 20-year-old year. I knew I kind of either wanted to stay in Alberta or go down east. So I talked to a few schools like Acadia, was pretty interested, and I was thinking about even doing a fly down. But really, when I came back home and I met with Mark Howell, the head coach for U of C, and we kind of did a tour. But I already knew the campus from growing up here, so it was something I was really comfortable with. And moving back home was something I was really interested in. And really, the school's good, the program was good, so there wasn't really a reason for me to go anywhere else.
It was an easy choice.
Yeah.
So you just finished your third season. You had your best statistical season since you've been at the University of Calgary. What do you think led to your explosion in offense this year, and how are you going to make sure that carries over to next season?
I think I was just confident. I came in, I had a few. My summer training went well. I was on the ice a lot. I was really focused on having a good year, and I knew I'd have the opportunity to with the way our roster was set up. I knew I had to be a big part of the offense with a couple guys that we lost. And really just I got off to a hot start, and with my game, my confidence kind of needs to be high to be successful, and I just kept it rolling throughout the year. So really going into next year is just coming off with a good start and just keep it rolling.
I mean, you had a ton of confidence when you were in the Western Hockey League as well. 4 seasons with Kootenay and then traded to Lethbridge. What was it like? Can you remember that first season you come in? You talk about confidence when you're 16, 17 years old. How long do you think it took you to really get your confidence in the Western Hockey League?
I think, yeah, my first year was kind of rough to start, and then I started getting more opportunity and more trust with my coaches. And by the time the playoffs came around when I was 17, I was getting a lot of ice time, and I just kept it going, and I really had my confidence high. And then kind of my first year at UFC was almost like restarting the whole process again. It was like you're 16, 17 first year kind of thing. And so it took me another year basically to get my confidence back.
That last season that you were in the Western League, your 20-year-old year, you were traded to the Lethbridge Hurricanes. What was that like for you, spending your entire career with one team and then the last essentially 3 months you're going to spend it with this team that you're going to have to go in and assimilate with all these guys, understand their systems. How did you make that transition?
It was pretty seamless, really. Like, it was something I was hoping would happen. Really, we kind of knew the situation with Kootenay and a trade might be coming. So it's something I was excited for and came in with an open mind. And I'm glad it happened, because it was a whole nother experience. And to go to a different city, new locker room, like new facilities, everything, it was cool to get a different look at things in the Western Hockey League.
That was your last year in the Western League. And then you transitioned off to the University of Calgary. You have at least one more year at school, and then you'll transition into the next stage of your life. Do you want to continue playing hockey at the professional level, or are you going to take that degree from the Haskayne School of Business and start your professional career in the business world?
Yeah, it's something. I think after my first year, I was more focused on my life after hockey and after U of C, going into getting a job right after in the professional world. And then as I've kind of come along during the seasons, it's something that my coach has talked to me about, is there should be opportunities once I'm done. And now it's something I'm really focused on, and I'm still going to get my degree from U of C, but I'm hoping to pursue professional hockey after school and then have that degree to fall back on.
Yeah, it's a great plan. And, you've continued that development that you had in the Western League, obviously, in U Sports and Canada West. So what do you think is the biggest difference that you found between playing in junior hockey compared to playing in U Sports hockey?
Biggest difference? I'd say just the amount of games we played in junior was 3-4 times a week. Like, the amount of practices you had was pretty even with the amount of games. And then you come to a schedule like we have here, where it's 2 games a week. Sometimes you go a month without playing. So it's a lot of practice time. So I think you kind of, you got to be able to use that practice time. And there's so many hours that you can use. You can really develop a lot in our league. And then each game is so intense. Like, I remember my first year playing a preseason game, and I was almost like taken back of how serious it was, because we don't have that many games to play, and every game is so important.
Yeah, it's a very compressed schedule. It's a great schedule. You get to have a very long Christmas break, which is much enjoyed. That doesn't really happen in the Western Hockey League. As you're coming into next season with the uncertainty, how are you preparing to get ready for that? And what does your schedule look like class-wise heading into next fall?
Yeah, so right now I'm just trying to stay somewhat in shape, because I know basically our off season is going to start like September. We still have 4 months before January where our season starts. And then in the fall, I think I'm going to take 5 classes, because they're all online. And so I know with no games, like, I'll be able to handle that course load. And it should be some intense practices in the fall, and hopefully we'll get in shape ready for January.
Yeah, you'll learn to either love your teammates or hate them pretty quick. Matt, you've had an extensive hockey career up to this point. Is there a memory that you have that sticks out to you as your favorite hockey memory?
My favorite hockey memory there's probably a couple. One individual one would be when I got my hat trick in Lethbridge when I was 20. It was something I've been waiting 4 years for, and it finally came to fruition. And then team-wise, it was probably my first year when we beat the Calgary Hitmen in 6 games. And that was pretty cool, growing up as a Calgary kid and going to Hitmen games and beating them in a playoff series and playing in the Saddle Dome. Really my first experience with true playoff hockey, and to come out of that series with a win was something pretty special.
Well, let's touch on that again. You like playing in the Saddle Dome. We obviously have the Crowchild Classic here. For those of you who don't know, it's the University of Calgary men's and women's team. They play the Mount Royal University men's and women's team back-to-back at the Saddle Dome. It's a packed game. What's that experience been like, and what's it like to be a university athlete playing there with 13,000 students cheering you on?
It's awesome. Like, for me, I played in the Saddle Dome before in crowds like that, but it's just it's a whole different atmosphere than a normal Calgary Hitmen game. You got all 18 to 24-year-olds in the building, all repping their school color. Everyone's like loud as can be. Drinks are flowing, so it's really it's like a cool experience, and it's something I'm glad that I've had the chance to be a part of.
Yeah, the drinks are definitely flowing, and Cowboys is lined up after. Well, Matt, thank you so
Yeah.
much for taking time out of your day to do this. Hope you have a great summer. Hope that handicap keeps coming down, and best of luck next season.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.